You may have heard me mention about sitting with your emotions. Oftentimes, a lot of people do not know what it means. So today, I'm going to go through in detail how it works, why it works, and what to do with it. If you're ever going to do shadow work, at some point, you'll be using this technique. But there's a lot of misconceptions about what sitting with your emotions really does. When done right, it is transformative and the foundations of real shadow work. Let's dive into it. Namaste, Sacred Masters. I'm Dr. Iwas, author of Shadow Work, Finding Your Light in Darkness, and I'm here to help you with your shadow work and manifesting questions to elevate your self-growth. So don't forget to subscribe for pick a card sessions, Grabovia numbers, and UKE vibrations so that you don't miss on anything that can help you realize your full potential and find your light in the darkness. Today, we are going to be talking about sitting with your emotions. I think it's important to do a whole video on it, as just about any shadow work prompt I give on this channel involves sitting with your emotions. But first, let's talk about what it's not. Sitting with your emotions is not wallowing. Wallowing is a stagnant energy that takes you nowhere. When we wallow, we are not interested in new beginnings. I know the point of doing shadow work is that you can blossom as a spiritual being, correct? So wallowing is actually counterproductive. Although very often, when sitting with our emotions, we end up wallowing instead. If you find yourself sitting with your emotions, but you end up thinking about why you were offended, how unjust this world is, being a victim, etc., then you are wallowing. You're not sitting with your emotions. I'll go through the steps on how to actually sit with your emotions, but first, let me explain what it is and why it's so hard. The key difference between wallowing and sitting with your emotions is that sitting with your emotions, when done properly, you often get through those feelings of sadness, darkness, anger, whatever it is, more quickly than if you ignored it. It's kind of ironic, but there's a reason why it works when done properly. Look, I get that people want to try and avoid low vibration feelings. We watch TV, we drink, find many distractions. But the truth is, they don't go away. Rather, they get bottled up inside, shaken like a fizzy drink, waiting for the next trigger to open the cap and explode. But sitting with your feelings, you actually get through them in the quickest possible way. However, it is just our human instincts to shy away from it, because it is an uncomfortable premise. I mean, sitting with your emotions is like noticing a spider on your leg and not brushing it off. Goes against our natural instinct. These overpowering emotions goes against our biological instinct. But I'm going to show you how to do it, and by the end, you'll see why this is so powerful and important. The first step to sitting with your emotions, other than finding a nice quiet and safe space, is to bring awareness of mind and body. Experience this emotion without judging yourself. You just let it be. Don't struggle against this emotion. Don't try and have an opinion about it, blame somebody about it. You'll notice that this overpowering feelings has two elements to it, thoughts and physical sensation. You really want to try and become aware of how this feeling is affecting your body. Anxiety, for example, can be a combination of tightness in the chest and racing of heartbeat and thoughts. Begin to see if you can feel its shape, how heavy it is. Is it tingly, tense? You start to identify and acknowledge the feelings. You're not repressing it anymore. For those of you who have read my book or watched my video on echoes, you can even give it a name. Name this emotion. Begin to validate this emotion. You can even say it out loud that it's okay. As you begin to observe the emotion, you'll notice something magical happens, and that feeling changes over time. A good tip to remember is that breathing really helps the process of changing these emotions. Why? Because when you breathe, you inhale new air, new energy, and you exhale out the old. With each breath, you can actually feel the emotion slowly changing. It doesn't disappear immediately. It is completely normal to feel shame, then guilt, apathy, grief, anger. But what you're doing is slowly working up the human vibration chart towards neutrality. So don't be wondering why or whether or not it is working. For those of you who are just starting out, guilt and grief may feel similar because they're all mixed up with past emotions and experiences. But it's there. Observe them without judging yourself. Sometimes you might even fall lower on the vibration chart, which is why a lot of people tend to cry. You're not getting worse, but it's just your spirit, soul, mind, and body telling you, wait, don't jump the gun. There's something else to work with here. And you may have to go back to apathy before you can work on your anger. So remember, don't judge yourself when sitting in with your emotions. So once you zero in on your feelings, you begin to unlock all the good stuff like relief, expression, creativity, and healing. Well, how do you do that? You see, you have to be clear on your intention. When I talk about wallowing has no intention. When you sit with your feelings, be sure that you have an intention to be transformed by it. When you're open to your feelings about it, you'll be surprised at what you can discover. Guilt, shame, anger all have lessons in them. They can be used creatively. Most songs in this world are written in sadness, maybe in anger, as certain rock music and heavy metal music are, and become transformed from raw emotions to joy that entertains the world. You have to allow the feeling to take you somewhere, to inspire you, to give you new ideas, to help better yourself, but only when you allow these feelings to do it by validating and observing it. Maybe you learn how to set boundaries and finally find a new healthy relationship after being broken down by a toxic narcissistic one. Remember, every negative emotion comes with the energy of generative, creative, productive, or healing. It is just that we are so uncomfortable with them, we tend to shy away from them and distract ourselves from them. Sitting with them allows us to return back to our oneness, our shadow side, and we begin to build our authentic selves again. Slow things down. Take it one step at a time. Just imagine all your emotions are like little children. For parents who have kids, even though it is our job to bring them up, when we observe our children, we can also learn from them too. But when we start to neglect them, imagine 15 of them coming up to you, pulling up on your shirt and demanding your attention. You just want to scream and run away, right? Take the time to pull each child, each emotion aside, and see what you can learn from them too. Sitting with your emotions is one of the foundations of shadow work. It can be a meditative thing, or it can literally just be laying on the couch and closing your eyes. Whatever works for you, just remember the most important thing is that you set your intention to come out transformed. The more you know about yourself, the more you can discover how unique and authentic you really are. Because that journey cannot start until you know about yourself, which is a combination and a collection of your emotions and thoughts. If you don't know about yourself, how can you begin your journey finding your authentic you? Instead, when you don't sit with your emotions and repress them, you begin to find distractions everywhere. You begin to take on things that you identify yourself with, like religion, politics, etc. Notice people who identify themselves with outside factors, they're usually the most angry and most triggered. Because they cannot control religion or politics, which are foundations of trying to control people as well. They begin to lose their authentic selves and they project that onto others. And what do they learn? They learn that anger means to lash out, to exact violence, to yell, scream, make your point heard, and they never are. The only way your point is heard is within you already. Sitting with yourself empowers you because you are acting and not reacting. But some of you may be asking me, when do I sit down with my emotions? When I'm feeling angry? Really murderous angry? Yes and no. See, the thing is that sometimes we wait for something to happen before we act. By then, it is too late already. And if you're not trained to sit with yourself, you'll find these sessions really hard when it gets time to be intense. Which is why I created this channel for you, to nudge you into places where you can begin some small work now, so when the time comes for the heavy-duty work, you are prepared. While most of my videos do give shadow prompts, the most important ones, are actually the most fun ones. I upload different ones every week on Thursday. They are the shadow work pick a card sessions. Here, they are random cards that you can pick that will nudge you into some shadow work. Each card comes with a shadow prompt, something for you to sit down, think about, and sit with these emotions. They are light work, but definitely relies on self-honesty. They are not date-specific, so you can choose a pick-a-card session based on whatever name resonates with you on the title, and then choose one of the 3 cards. The reason why I upload them on Thursday is that it gives you something to think about nearing the end of the week, and before life distractions of the weekend come about. It will help your shadow journey a lot. Just a small 3-minute session every week and you'll see major changes in your life. Remember, you can choose any random video. I'll post a whole playlist here so you can find one now. I'll see you there. Namaste.